What's up, y'all? Welcome back. We're going down a rabbit hole. Let's get into it. Okay, so I explained it a little bit in the last video, but in case you didn't catch that one, I'll explain it again now. This is the rabbit hole that we're going to get into. Last time we did the battery bracket, I drove the car around and that works and everything, but then I was talking about having to add a circuit breaker somewhere in there, so I started thinking about where to put the circuit breaker and what to do with that, and then once my mind started thinking, that's where I usually begin to dig into rabbit holes. And so now, when I first got into the car scene many years ago, it was kind of like a big thing. I guess technically it still is, but it's just not talked about as much, I guess. I don't know. Anyway, you put your speakers in there and your amps and everything, and you have like a nice setup in there, and it's clean. You have like false floors and all this other kind of stuff. So that's kind of the idea, but I don't want to add like a bunch of weight back here. Right now it's kind of just like a race car look with like the bare metal and all that stuff, which is, I mean, it's fine, but I just want to make it look a little nicer with some like carpet looking things and panels and stuff like that in here. So this is the rabbit hole that we're into, and so we're going to take some cardboard and we're going to lay out the trunk floor and get a little template, and then we'll be able to cut some panels. I'm going to raise it up in the back, and we'll have like, if I ever do an amp, it'll be right there in the middle and things like that. I can mount the circuit breaker over here and all that. But today, before we do all that stuff, we're getting a little bit ahead of ourselves. As you can see here, I started a little bit kind of like a test. I'm going to line the spare tire well with aluminum foil, and then I'm going to make a cardboard like square to put here for the battery to have like a hole there. I'm going to put something around that so it kind of stays a hole there, and then we're going to line this with spray foam. We're going to fill it up, and then when it dries, I can sand it, shape it, paint it, whatever I want to do to it. The idea behind that is it will give me a mold in here, and it's lightweight and it's foam, and everything will stay in place, and I can drill into, if I need to add some things, I can just put it in there, and yeah, that'll kind of fill up the space in here. So that's the plan today. We're going to line this with foil. We're going to take some panels and make out some little templates and get that sprayed, and we'll let it dry. I think it takes 24 hours, it said, but I'll double check that, but let's just get into it and start digging in this hole. I'm actually super excited to do this. I was thinking about it and I was just like, why not just do that? Like, it would look so good, and I can, you know, the trunk was just like the one piece that was kind of like, you know. I did the strut bar and all that stuff, but it just looks so unfinished and not attention paid to it like it should be. So I want to make some stuff in there and make it look nice. So I know that was a lot to explain, but throughout the next couple of videos, give me a little bit of time and it'll begin to take shape and it'll look super cool when we're done. Okay, so I made the 11 by 7 maybe? Little mats for the battery in the last video, so let me just take some measurements just to make sure that's correct, and I'll make some little cardboard panels. I think, yeah, 7.5, okay. Okay, let me cut some cardboard and we'll put a little thing around this and get to laying down some aluminum foil. Okay, so I liked this panel better than this panel I had cut, so I took this all out, as you saw, and then I cut this panel with this panel, so now those are the same. So now we got it all squared up, and I know now just to put this against this edge down here, so this will be the spot for that. Now I gotta come up with something for this, and then we can line it with some foil and get to spraying some foam. Alright, so I found this little non-branded tub of wipes that were super dried out, so we emptied this out and it fits right over that thing. So that will be the piece for the hole. Now let's get some foil in there and spray this foam, because the quicker I get it sprayed, the quicker it dries and we can keep going. Okay, so got everything lined with foil. I think that should be enough. I think that should be able to do what I want it to do. We got the box mounted in there, so that'll be a little hole. Got the little cup over the thingy. To be fair, I have no idea what I'm doing. I've never done this with foam. We made a fiberglass thing years and years and years ago, but you know, this seems to be an okay idea to do this with. So we're gonna give it a whirl, see what happens, and spray some foam. Okay, I'm gonna read this can because this is my first time using foam ever, and I'm a little nervous to spray it in there. I mean, first time using it, spraying it into the car, hoping it works. So yeah, let me read the can and then we'll get the spraying, I guess. Okay, seems straightforward enough. Let's do it. Okay, here goes can 2. Okay, that was surprisingly fun, surprisingly easy. I used 2 full cans, as you saw. I think I'm gonna run to the store and get 1 more can, just to be sure of it. It's supposed to expand quite a bit. They say you can spritz it with water to help like speed up the curing process. I don't know if I want to do that or not yet. Actually, you know what? I'm gonna run to the store and get another can, maybe 2. That way we have it, and if we need it, it'll be there. So yeah, let's do that, and by the time we get back, it should be somewhat cured, and we can go from there. All right, it's already starting to like puff up quite a bit. This is super cool. So I think I mentioned this earlier, but once this like fully cures and hardens and everything, I should be able to paint this, sand this, do whatever I want to it. And if I ever want to add anything else in here, I can just carve it out and put it in there. This is like super cool. I'm really excited about this. You know, I'm surprised at this foam stuff. I've never used it before, but it doesn't have that strong of a smell. I mean, if you get it on you, I just wiped off one of the caps there earlier and it is super sticky. I would definitely wear gloves when doing this, but it doesn't smell that bad. It's kind of weird. All right, that's gonna be sick. It was already starting to like expand quite a bit, but I think putting that second layer on there will really help it like really fill that up in there like I want to. And yeah, I think I'm gonna avoid spritzing it with water. I'm just gonna let it do its thing. I don't wanna do anything to it. So we'll let that do its thing, and then we'll get in there and start measuring some panels. You know, after spraying all that, I used 4 cans of that stuff. I mean, granted, I am filling an entire spare tire well full of foam, but I just thought the cans would last a little longer than that. They seemed like they were gone just like that. Alrighty, let's see here. It's about 37. I think I mentioned it, I don't know if I mentioned it before, but I don't know if you can see it or not, but there's like a little edge right here, a little line in the trunk. I think that's a great spot to separate the panels, because if I make one solid piece, it's gonna be kind of hard to get it in here, you know? So I'm gonna cut it there, and then this will be where it steps up and makes another little platform, and that should be good there. So let me grab a piece of cardboard and cut it to 37, and we'll stick it in there, see how that looks. Okay, so we got this. Let me wedge that in there. Got my battery cable. Alright, that's pretty solid. There's some gaps on the sides here. I'm gonna cut a couple edges off of another box to fit that part there. But this looks good. I'm gonna have to, the material is gonna be a 1/2 inch, so I'm trying to measure it now to where it's like exactly on there. And then I can grind off a 1/2 inch or sand off like a 1/4 inch on each side to make it fit and make the vertical parts that I'm thinking about doing fit in there nice and tight. So let's just cut those corners real quick and do that. Okay, so we got one here. That looks pretty good. And then this one, I already had it on a piece of a box and tore off some cardboard, but that's all right. And let's do this one here, like, yeah, that's right. Right, like that. Okay, that looks good. Now it'll be like a little fanned out. I'll just have to keep in mind to like fill this in right here. I might put some tape on that actually. Yeah, let me do that just to remind myself. Alright, so this is the general idea. I cut this little piece out for a riser, and then it's gonna go, I think I'm gonna put it about right here, and then I'll make another platform to go on top. I looked up the dimensions for the amp that I'm thinking about getting, and this is about the size of it. And so if I set it right there, that's the 1/2 inch of the material, and so that will clear everything just nicely. I think that's going to be great. And I'm thinking about adding a plexiglass piece here to have like a glow come through it. That'll be tight. Down here I can mount all of my fuse boxes and all that kind of stuff to keep the wires hidden. That's the whole idea behind this, is to keep everything hidden. And then I'm going to run the circuit breaker up to about right there. Yeah, this is great, coming along nicely. Alright, so now that the cardboard is laid in there, I have somewhat of a stencil that I can lay out and use. So that's going to be pretty solid. Bend that in there. Now that stays. Alright, so it looks like I'm going to have to wait until this is all cured up and fixed up, because I can't go any farther over and get an accurate reading on what I'm trying to do, because the box is like sticking up too far. I didn't think about that part, so when I go over, it's like a big hump in it, and it's hard to get it like flush against this and all that stuff there. So I think I'm gonna have to wait till all that cures to finish doing these templates. And with that being said, I'm gonna call it on this one. We're gonna let that stuff cure. We got pretty far today. I am super pumped on how that foam turned out and how it's doing. We'll see once it's finished if I like it so much. Right now I don't see any issue with it changing or whatever, so that's going to be super solid. Hopefully you can tell kind of what we're doing with the project now that I have some panels in there, and I've hopefully explained it enough. I don't know if I have or not. It's in my mind and it's like jumbled in there, and so I'm just trying to get it out and using cardboard as my canvas, and we'll get it eventually. Next time I hope to have the material I'm going to actually use. I'm going to use expanded PVC. I've seen a lot of people use that in audio for like amp racks and whatnot, and it's not as heavy as MDF board, which MDF is like insanely heavy. So hopefully that can work. Hopefully I can find some sheets around here locally, and we'll get the templates laid on there, cut out, and then we can go from there. I appreciate you watching yet again, as always. Leave a comment down below what you think so far. If you like my foam idea, if you've seen it before, anything, let me know. And don't forget to do all the other YouTube things down there. You guys know how it goes. I hate that it works, but it does. And so I'll catch you next time. Bye.